And now we are going to module 3. It's a pole placement technique. The importance of reading this particular module is how we can place the poles to maintain the complete stability of the system. There are two ways of approach. One is your classical control approach and another one is your state control approach. In classical control approach, you will be using either a frequency response system. You can use either frequency response or time response. So in classical control design, the form of compensator is pre-selected based on the performance of the uncompensated system, and the design specification is given. So as in case of with the classical control approach, it is not possible for us to get a correct response, as we are not going to assume the initial condition in case of your classical control theory. Whereas in case of your state control approach, it is possible for us to obtain an accurate response. Why? Because we are going to assume and we are going to consider the initial state. Okay, so next one is the state variable method. In case of your state variable method, accurate model, accurate system can be provided for the design process, and in this we are going to assume an initial condition. So the main consideration in case of your pole placement technique is the system is completely state controllable. So here you are going to read two things. One is your state feedback system, another one is your state observer design. State feedback design, and second one is your state observer design. So in case of your state feedback, we will be checking for the controllability, whereas in case of state observer design, we will be first checking for the observability. So in this, in state feedback, we will be checking for the state controllability. In state observer design, we will be checking for your observability. So there are two tests for checking your controllability and observability. The first one is your Kalman's test and the second one is your Gilbert's test. So in both the tests, it is possible for us to identify your state controllability and state observability. So in case of your pole placement control design, first assumptions we need to do is, first step we need to find out is, it is a system has to be state controllable, and the second one, the state variables are measurable and are available for the feedback. Third one, control input is unconstrained. Why? Because in case of your state feedback, only your output will drive the system. So only your output will drive the system, whereas in case of your state observer design, both your input and output is going to drive your system. That is the major difference. And also, in case of your pole placement technique, the use of state feedback. So you will be using a state feedback from the output, because the output is going to drive the system. The use of state feedback will permit us to place all the poles of the characteristics equation. Basically, the placement of pole is important. Why? Because that defines the stability of the system. So the poles can be identified by the means of your characteristics equation. There are two characteristics equation. One is characteristics equation for an open loop system, another one characteristics equation for a closed loop system. So in case of the characteristics equation for an open loop system, the equation is going to be lambda I minus A is equal to 0. So if you find the roots of this particular characteristics equation, you will get the eigenvalue, and this eigenvalue is nothing but the poles. Now we need to place these poles at the right position to define the complete stability of the system. Therefore, the use of state feedback is very important, because it permits to place all the poles of the characteristics equation at any desired location by means of the state feedback gain matrix. First, the desired closed loop poles need to be identified. The desired closed loop poles is obtained by means of your eigenvalues, and this eigenvalue is evaluated based on your transient response or frequency response. So based on these two responses, we will be identifying the poles. We will be identifying the desired poles. Why? Because based on your transient response and based on your frequency response, such as damping ratio need to be considered, speed, bandwidth, etc. has to be considered for the steady state requirement. So all these points need to be remembered when we are designing this pole placement technique. Next one, then by properly selecting the gain. So after identifying the poles, so after identifying your poles lambda, based on your damping ratio constant, based on the bandwidth, based on speed, and based on your transient response or frequency response, after identifying this, then the next duty is to properly select the gain matrix for the state feedback. That is responsible to locate the closed loop poles at desired location, provided the original system is completely state controllable. If the system is completely state controllable only, it is possible for us to place this pole placement technique properly. Then only it is possible for us to identify the state feedback gain K. So first we should identify whether the system is completely controllable or not by means of any one of the methods like Kalman's test or Gilbert's test. Then by properly selecting your state feedback gain, it is possible for us to locate the closed loop poles at any desired location. So here the pole placement technique, it is your pole placement control design, right? So this pole placement technique is similar to that of your root locus design. I guess you people have discussed root locus design, but pole placement technique allows all the difference between your root locus and pole placement is pole placement will allow all the desired poles, all the closed loop poles to place in the desired location, whereas the root locus, in case of your root locus, only two dominant poles can be placed. So in case of root locus approach, only two dominant poles can be placed, whereas in case of your pole placement technique, all the closed loop poles can be placed. These are all some of the important points in case of your pole placement control design. So first thing, you need to check whether the system is completely state controllable or not, and we need to identify the state feedback gain, and the state feedback gain output only the output will drive the entire system. And this pole placement design is similar to that of your root locus approach. The difference between your root locus approach and pole placement technique is, in case of pole placement technique, all the closed loop poles can be placed at desired location. All closed loop poles can be placed at desired location, whereas in case of root locus approach, only two dominant poles can be placed. These are all the important key points for pole placement control design. And also there is a cost associated in placing your closed loop poles, because placing all the closed loop poles requires measurement and feedback of all the state variables of the system. Therefore, the cost associated with the closed loop poles is also important. So next one, so the closed loop poles should lie at mu1, mu2, mu3, and it goes on till mu n with the desired location. And the necessary and sufficient condition for keeping your poles is the system is completely state controllable. It is your closed loop dynamics as I discussed earlier. So you can simply write your state equation as x dot is equal to ax plus bu, y is equal to cx. If you draw the state diagram for this particular state equation and output equation, you could find, so here ax, right? So x dot, in the sense here one integrator will come and input will be x dot, and here you will get x. So when you connect a gain a, the output of this is going to be ax plus bu. So you will have one summing point with a gain bu. U is your input and b is the gain that is connected to the input. To positive terminal you connect it. So this ax you can connect it with the gain ax, and output y is equal to cx. So here I can take an output, I can connect it with the c, and output we will be getting it as y is equal to cx. So looking at this particular diagram, it is very clear that there is no feedback. So when there is no feedback, the output continuously oscillates, which should not happen for a complete stabilized system. So we need to identify the closed loop dynamics of the system. To identify the closed loop dynamics of the system, we need to connect a feedback, that is u is equal to minus kx. So this leads to a new state equation, x dot is equal to a minus bk into x. So all these points we have discussed. Now in pole placement technique, what are the steps we need to follow to identify the state feedback gain? There are three methods of identifying your state feedback gain. One is your direct decomposition method, second one transformation matrix method, third one Ackermann's formula. So in pole placement design, the first step is you need to check for your controllability. The controllability can be checked either by means of your Kalman's test or by means of your Gilbert's test. In Kalman's test, the formula to be used is you need to identify your controllability matrix and you have to identify the determinant value. If the determinant value is not equal to 0, then the rank of the matrix is going to be 3. Suppose if the determinant value is 0, then the system is not completely controllable. And to define your state feedback gain, this is the state feedback gain is represented with a letter called K, and the gain is represented in the matrix as shown here. Then you need to identify the closed loop characteristics equation, that is Si minus A plus Bk is equal to 0. Then you need to identify the desired characteristics equation with the given poles. After that, comparing your desired characteristics equation with the original characteristics polynomial equation, it is possible for us to obtain the desired closed loop poles location for our state feedback gain. Okay, in the next class we will be solving the problems under direct decomposition method, transformation matrix method and Ackermann's formula. Thank you, students.